Architecture isn't just about buildings, it's about creating unforgettable experiences and transforming the world around us. So, what makes a design truly exceptional? Let's uncover the secrets behind great architecture. Today, we're diving into 101 Things I Learned in Architecture School by Matthew Frederick, exploring essential techniques and insights every architect should know. We'll see how everything from a simple line to the way a building interacts with its surroundings can redefine space and ultimately, how we experience architecture. Get ready to be inspired. What is the true foundation of architectural design? In architecture, the basics, like drawing a line, can transform into a language that speaks volumes. Frederick highlights that every element in a drawing, from lines to shapes, holds meaning. When we draw a line with conviction, it anchors a design to the paper and gives it a sense of authority. One of the most important theories for any architect to understand is figure ground theory. The space around the objects is just as important as the objects themselves. Imagine a city. The spaces between the buildings, the parks, streets, and plazas are what give the buildings their meaning and context. Figure ground theory doesn't only apply to two-dimensional drawings. In 3 dimensions, it becomes the solid void theory. This idea emphasizes that the voids, or open spaces, in architectural compositions hold equal value to the structures that frame them. Positive spaces are where we interact and dwell, while negative spaces guide our movement. How does the space around us shape the way we live, interact, and move? Frederick dives into the psychology of space, discussing how positive and negative spaces influence behavior. Positive spaces, places where people naturally want to linger, are vital for fostering social interaction. Think of a cozy cafe corner or a bustling public square. In contrast, negative spaces, like long corridors, encourage movement, urging people to pass through. An example can be found in the layout of medieval cities compared to suburban areas. In the medieval city, buildings are placed to form defined spaces, plazas and narrow streets, designed to shape interaction. In contrast, suburban buildings often stand as isolated objects in an open field, leading to a sense of disconnection. This concept is deeply rooted in the practice of urban design, where public spaces are intentionally crafted to foster human connection. In architectural planning, the hierarchy of spaces, from the most public to the most private, creates a flow that directs movement and socialization. Frederick stresses that a successful design must consider how people will move through these spaces and where they will stop, interact, or relax. Have you ever walked through a building and felt the sudden thrill of discovery? One of Frederick's key concepts is denial and reward, a technique used to create anticipation and surprise in architectural design. This method involves deliberately withholding a view of an important feature, such as a building's entrance or a significant landmark, and revealing it only after a journey or path. This can be seen in iconic works like the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, where visitors descend into the space, gradually uncovering the scale of the wall. The act of moving through the space becomes an experience in itself. In design, denial and reward can be employed to enhance a space's emotional impact. Architects use sightlines, walls, and pathways to create a sense of intrigue, leading visitors through a controlled experience. By strategically hiding and revealing parts of the design, the architect controls how the space is perceived over time. Want to learn more about these fascinating techniques? Subscribe to our channel and join our community of architecture enthusiasts today. How do architects use composition to tell a story? Frederick explains that architectural composition is much like a painter's canvas. Architects must carefully balance symmetry and asymmetry to create dynamic, engaging spaces. Symmetry can communicate stability and formality, while asymmetry creates movement and excitement. One powerful technique is using contrast. In a dynamic composition, contrasting elements such as light and shadow, solid and void, or rough and smooth textures work together to create depth and interest. This concept applies not only to individual buildings, but also to how those buildings interact with their surroundings. Visual composition in architecture also involves understanding the play of light and materials. Light can transform a space, from the soft northern daylight to the warm golden hues of the setting sun. By designing to capture or manipulate natural light, architects create spaces that feel alive throughout the day. How do architects create spaces that resonate emotionally with people? Frederick highlights that great architecture is not just about solving functional problems, it's about designing spaces that people will connect with emotionally. This involves designing with specific experiences in mind, whether it's the feeling of safety, awe, or intimacy. For example, designing a set of stairs is not just about getting people from one level to another. It's about how the act of climbing those stairs will make someone feel. A grand staircase in a hotel lobby can evoke a sense of drama and elegance, while a narrower, enclosed staircase may create intimacy and focus. Frederick stresses that every design decision should have multiple justifications. For example, a window can serve to bring in natural light, frame a view, and offer structural expression. The more reasons you can find to include an element, the richer the experience it creates. Ready to transform your architectural designs? Start implementing these principles today and see the difference. Subscribe to our channel for more insights and tips on mastering architecture. The spaces we design define how we experience the world. 101 Things I Learned in Architecture School shows us that every line, shape, and space has meaning. From figure ground theory to the way we experience light, architecture is about creating meaningful experiences that connect us to the spaces we inhabit. Next time you walk through a building, take a moment to notice the spaces you move through and how they make you feel. The invisible forces of design are shaping your experience one line at a time. In the next episode, we'll explore the symbols and hidden meanings embedded in architectural design. Don't miss out on learning how architects use these to guide us through spaces.